Well, at least the cemetery gates are open for me. Here at Wallasey. Regardless of preference over facial coverage, of whose gates will always be welcoming. Thank God. At least there's no discrimination here, eh? That's one thing I can be confident about. As we approach the midway section, I'll never forget 1 October. A world away from this COVID crisis. It was the most perfect autumn day, and I will never forget that day. It was like early afternoon. It could have been approaching 3 o'clock. Either way, the cemetery house is on a central plinth. I was on this side of it. Gates aren't always open, but on this afternoon they were. And I remember thinking, crikey, I can't walk another step. Well, this day made me just let go of everything. And I crashed there. How a windy gale can make one grip harder onto things. If you'd have held a feather and let it drop out of your hand, it would have floated down to the ground, no matter how high you had dropped the feather, under its own weight, till coming to a stationary position on the floor. This is before I had my YouTube channel, before I owned this camera. So immediately talking, this is over 9 years ago. About 9-10 years ago would have been. And the memory of it, which will always stay in my mind. A million worlds away from this COVID misery we're all in now. Wallasey Cemetery, where the gates will always be open and never shut in my face. On with the episode. Most gorgeous colour. Suppose never short of pickings. Here at Wallasey Cemetery. There's the house we walked around then. Okay. Which one should I choose as my victim? Go on, this one. Heading into New Brighton now from the cemetery. If you can see in the distance a ship on the Mersey, now in the centre of your picture, yeah? Arriving at the cross, everywhere seems quite normal. Shops seem to appear to be open as normal. People seem to be on the buses as normal. No masks are standing out on people's faces. As you can see there's 2 people there generally. That is one thing I've noticed over the last few weeks. Whenever I've been out, I've always stepped over a mask which has been on the floor, as if it's just simply been strewn for whatever reason. It does appear to be like normal-ish. Just when you go into an establishment, that's when one would assume the coverage, mask facial coverage, something like that. Otherwise, things seem to be, like I was saying when I was in an earlier episode, I personally feel the compulsory mask wearing was brought in to help rid the queues for the stores, and then to help and to get the economy going as normal could be. Just to see what the place is like on an average afternoon midweek during this period of COVID. Okay, I'll catch you when I arrive. I'm dying for a coffee. I'll pop the camera back on when I arrive. Add a nice hot mug of. Alright, in a bit. Okay, still on way to coffee. Everywhere appears quite normal. In fact, it appears quite busy for a midweek, and that's probably because schools are still empty. So, if anything, I think the economy might well be potentially pulling out, sort of, slightly. It's always the kids who get the parents to spend more, isn't it? I will stand up in it when I'm not directly faced by people. There, the camera now. See, you can see there are people in there. See, you can see briefly there were people occupying the cafe, the chairs and the tables. People sitting off on benches, not wearing masks, absolutely no masks. Plenty of people down there to the left of me on the prom, no masks at all, as if it's a norm. It appears like a Saturday, even though it's a Wednesday afternoon. I'm just now choosing where to go and have my coffee. I'm sat here now, deciding and as to what place to go, even just for a coffee. I will still trying to find that hot cup of coffee. I will put the camera on again when I find. Just sat off in this nice Victorian. It must be at least 100 years. This stall here. Deciding. This would. Many a tramp has slept in here. Many a tramp's tale. It's ridiculous, isn't it, when you think of it? I mean, we're all walking around with certain surgical masks, slightly layered masks, and gloves. Someone's wearing gloves and eye protection. Yeah, we all forget how the homeless can pick out food from the bins and eat that after it's been in the bin for a while. And I've come out many times from the kebab house and done that with my fingers and hands after handling cash, and used the doors at half-2 doors of the kebab houses when I've arrived home, and I've not washed my hands, and I've many times my heart has sunk when I've done that. just to get a grip on my fingers to be able to open the lid of the pizza box. At 3 in the morning I've been intoxicated, come home, and I must have been covered in all kinds of rubbish. The times we've all dropped food on the kitchen floor and we picked it up and then ate it without wiping it down. And you know, and we've all had those moments where we dropped something upside down from the frying pan and we've all ate it after picking it up. And yet we're all now so pretentious about catching the nearest germ. I mean, really, what does it matter? In the grand scale of things, what does it matter? What does it matter? I will leave it there without exaggerating about how it's all made the mood that people have all come over frightened and paranoid. Latest on the chemist palaver with me, with the mask covering. What mask covering do you wear? Right, I'll tell you now the latest. Here at the lovely Perch Rock, at the marina, New Brighton Arena. Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? Lighthouse. Perch Rock. That's where that giant man came from about. From around. That's where they set that giant man up inside there. And the Chinese dancers came out with it. Who mentioned Chinese? And then it travelled down the length of the walkway there. A giant man on the channel. What did I call it now? Sasquatch UK. Check it out on the channel. The giant man when it walked down there, that path there, along the marina, Jesus Marina. But it set itself up all in the innards of Perch Rock. Google Perch Rock, it'll come up. You'll see all the photographs inside. Lighthouse there. And I thought I would just address my audience to say that I did find somewhere to eat and have a coffee. Gorgeous. All you can drink coffee at the Wetherspoons, New Brighton. Most gorgeous place, okay? Wetherspoons, 10 out of 10 credits raised due. I went all the way down in there. That's all the new gangway down there. All the money's been spent on that entire gangway down there. It just looks quite small from here. But believe it or not, it's a double-layered gangway, and it's got an inner alleyway where all people sit. And each side there are hotels and cinema complexes and eateries and restaurants and just cafes and a junk shop places where you can all sit down and spend loads and 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 loads of money if you had it to spend. But I went down there initially. It's all booking online now. And if not, it's like you've got to book in advance. I think it's because it's peak time that you have to book in advance. I was here 6 months ago and you could just walk into some of the eateries. You could just walk in and get a table and eat. 6 months you could. I guess it's because it's lunchtime that you had to book in advance. If it wasn't a book online job, I guess it's just simply because it was lunchtime that I didn't get anywhere, that I went to Wetherspoons, and I'm grateful that I did so, because even Wetherspoons was quite tight as well. Whilst I was eating, they said I heard them say to approaching patrons that there's a 40-minute wait now and there's going to be 10 minutes for a table. I started to hear that as I was eating. I got there just in time at Wetherspoons. Great place. So franchise, UK franchise Wetherspoons. Google Wetherspoons, you'll find it. And gorgeous, gorgeous. All you can drink coffee. Gorgeous. All you can drink coffee, tea, all the hot drinks there. All you can drink. But I had to get up and go because it's lunchtime. You wouldn't think it was. You pop to the shop and drop dead. You wouldn't think of that at all. No one in there was wearing masks. The only thing is that I had to fill in a form, a little piece of paper slip, like an A5 size, even half size of A5. That's A10, isn't it? I had to put my name and my phone number and time I was there in a hat on a piece of paper and leave it there. So they now have my name and home phone number and the time that I was there. I'm anticipating a few cold calls in about a week's time. I reckon I'll get a few cold calls, but that's about it. They didn't ask for my email address, my date of birth, or anything like that. I think it was simply just to cover their arses, basically. I think it was one of them. It was a declaration. It was basically you signing your life away to companies here on your head, be it. As I say, I can imagine just a few cold calls, if that. I didn't feel dodgy about doing it. Wetherspoons are a trusty UK franchise. I didn't mind at all. Yeah, my opinions on the state of play of New Brighton at the moment. It's just as normal. It's as normal. Like I was saying in the previous episode, episode 6 in this series, there are places where I go where it is one extreme or another. This New Brighton here being one of those extremes where you just wouldn't think it. None of the owners of any of the businesses are asking you to put on a mask to go in, even where you do have to fill a slip of paper. I guess that is the reason why you have to fill a slip in. That is in place of the mask, I guess. You couldn't keep the holiday resorts going, could you? You couldn't keep it going if everyone had to wear a mask, because like I say, not everyone is wearing a mask, and also you will never get 100% mask wearing coverage. You never will. Even if literally people are dropping dead in front of your very eyes, there will always be someone who won't wear a mask.
Yeah.
So
wait for the shrimp to
right, okay.
Well, I'll hold it up.
Goodbye to New Brighton. This place I noticed about a week ago closed for this period we're living in. All closed. Apparently they can't get the volunteer. It's run volunteer staff. It's all held up by volunteer staff. See the sign there? So therefore this place has to close. If you live in Egmont, it's the little area inside Central Park. Voila. Unfortunately, this place closed down when compulsory mask wearing came into play about the same time. Unfortunately, you can see just how gorgeous it is, can't you? Just through the grill gate there. Unfortunately, this place closed down. Well, closed its gate and never to be opened since. Yeah, I thought that was a shame. Here we have Black Pearl, obviously suffering in this time of crisis of COVID. As you can see, it must have suffered slightly, it must have endured, it must have come down with the virus and lost a lot of its innards. But it looks like it's kept its flag, looks like it's remained its pulse intact. Besides the Black Pearl. Come down with a serious bout of COVID by the looks of it. But it has its vaccine. here just over the way. We're just waiting for a few educators to be able to revitalise. I still think, in a sick way, in a mad way, I feel it's been beneficial to us all as a species. As I was saying in my very first observation, in my very first episode, in series 1, that has made us all become more aware of each other's presence, we've all become more familiar with people by default. We've become more aware of each other, the default. For the flaw now, which we all have within us, the sense of the ability to be able to give each other adaptive disease, yes. The fellow coming to read the gas and lecky meters, he was stood at the intercom speaking towards tenants with a mask on. He had one leg up on the step, leaning toward the intercom with his face, talking to one of us through the actual electronic intercom system, with a mask on. Okay, it's brought attention to that, but the fact that it's brought attention to something. He's obviously wearing a fucking mask because he looks like a fucking joke, like he's just stepped out of a circus. Unfathomably lonely, unfathomably depressed, unfathomably just at the end of my tether. Knowing that if I just make one slight error in my ways, either physical or mental way, in the way I behave, either physically or mentally, if I make just the slightest of error, then the abuse will be ramped up to 100. You won't catch it, meaning the virus. You won't catch it talking into an intercom system, you fool. In regards to fellow neighbours, addictions, I'm sure I have traits in my personality which my fellow neighbours despise also. I'm not just picking on any one particular person. It's nothing personal, I will say. If any of my neighbours are watching this video, it's nothing personal toward you and yours. It's just simply because I think it's because we're all crammed in so tightly and for such a long period of time. I cannot believe what the fuck is going on. Bloke talking into an electronic intercom system with a fucking mask on, with what looks like no hope on the horizon. I believe firmly what I'm picking up online, that this corona thing will probably last for a few years. Masks will probably become a way of life, and it's going to take a while before we can all confidently just go out and just chill out and relax in each other's company. You won't catch it talking into an intercom system, you fool. What the fuck has we, the human race, become? What the fuck? I just cannot believe what the fuck is going on around me. I cannot fucking believe what's going on. I cannot fucking believe. I cannot fucking believe anything. I just cannot believe it. Go in the chemist with a mask, right? Yeah, a mask, yeah. Right. Dare me to go into the chemist wearing this, look. proper ghost face one I found in a junk shop for Halloween night about 3 Halloweens ago. Hey look, it's a proper ghost face mask, look. Right, dare me right. Right, I'm going to cut off now and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, I'm going to come out the other end, okay?